Alrighty, guys, good to see a pretty packed webinar today. Welcome to our weekly webinar. Good to see you guys. I know I haven't done one of these in a while. I've been extremely busy working on a lot of changes for our premium members right now, a lot of implications, which is great for that. Welcome, guys. Welcome. It is Sunday. Let's see, what's the date? I believe it's the 20th. Yes, Sunday, August 20th, 2017. So a little bit over halfway through 2017. So welcome if you guys are new here. I hope you guys enjoy this. All of our weekly webinars are uploaded to our YouTube channel, which I just kind of pulled up so you guys can see. We have them all uploaded, all our previous ones. We've got a couple educational videos. I definitely recommend, go if you have the time going through some of them. I know some of them can seem kind of long, but I do talk a lot about, the technical aspects of trading strategy, things like that. So if you have the time, definitely go through and watch that. If you guys are new, welcome. If you guys don't know who I am, my name is David Schinkel. I am the CEO and founder of Positive Traders. I've been running Positive Traders for going on 15 months now. Things have been going really well, and they're just, slowly starting to really pick up, and I'm very excited for where things are headed. So thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate your guys' support. So per usual, we start with the economic calendar, and then we'll go ahead and get into the actual technical analysis. Also, just a quick update for some of you guys that are in the premium group. I am currently filming 20 training courses. They're going to be lessons. It's going to be one course, but 20 lessons in the course. There's going to be 11 beginner courses, 11 beginner lessons and 9 advanced lessons. They're all going to be anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. Some of them, the ones talking about psychology and strategy might be a little bit longer than that, but it's going to be a very nice little jam-packed course, and that's free for everybody that's in the premium group. Also, today is the last day to get in the premium group for the lifetime membership at the discounted price. If you guys want some more information about it, I do have a Facebook post on it. There's also some information on it inside Telegram. I'm not going to go too much into detail and bore you guys to death, so let's go ahead and jump into things. Guys, this week is going to be great. The economic calendar is awesome. There's not a whole lot going on. We've just got a couple red folders, couple high impact news throughout the week, but it's not, covered with red folders. There's not a ton of speeches. We do have, I believe on Wednesday, we do have the European Central Banking President, Mario Draghi. He is going to be speaking. So that's really the only time we want to be careful. Definitely, be looking at the news, whatever you guys get your news source from, whether it's, Forex Live, Daily Effects, just Google News, definitely try to get as much information as you can on what he talks about. Kind of gives you an outlook on the euro pretty much. Usually they talk about jobs, inflation, wages, that type of thing, and that'll help give you a fundamental forecast on where things might be going in the medium term. Other than that, just some basic regular news throughout the week. On Friday, we do have some core durable goods orders, which should be a pretty solid mover for the dollar. We also have Mario Draghi speaking once again, and we also have the Federal Reserve chair member or head of the Federal Reserve, Janet Yellen. Okay, so Janet Yellen is the Federal Reserve's head, and Mario Draghi is the European Central Bank's head. So two very important figures are going to be speaking this week. So beware of that. And let's jump into things. This is also a lesson that we're going to be that's in the training course. One lesson is actually on how to read the economic calendar to know what to look for and how to read it pretty much, and just how to read it. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into things. So first off, I want to talk about Euro USD. All right. Euro USD is in this pretty intense channel right here. We see this sideways descending channel that we've been in for quite some time. We see a lot of resistance right around this 1750 area. If we actually throw it, let's keep it on the daily. Okay, I don't want to drop it in. We'll throw it on the 4-hour for just a second so we can see. On the 4-hour, you can see it has been a pretty significant level of support and resistance in the past, and then we're inside this descending channel. So we definitely want to keep an eye on what happens in this area. But if we do see a break of this trend line, if this channel does get broken, expect possibly something like this to happen. Bounce off of that channel and then heading up towards the 119 area. The dollar is very weak right now. Last week there was a lot of news that came out for the dollar that was very negative for it, and I think that my honest stance is I think that the dollar is going to continue to weaken throughout the week, but I want to see what happens. There's a lot of technicals that come into play. But of course, on the downside, if we see some rejection off this area and we do see kind of a break of this PRZ around if we see a break of the 1250 level, then we could see it coming back down to the 1650, you know, a nice 100 pip drop on this. So definitely keep your eyes on what happens in this area. And we are on the 4-hour chart right now on Euro USD. So make sure you guys have this trend line here. You know, if you guys want to have this this green box on here, I plotted this one on the daily. And the 4-hour, it looks nice on the 4-hour, but we have a lot of big wicks on the bottom right here, a lot of wicks showing a presence of buyers, you know, just a lot of consolidation. So I do think, you know, we potentially could be reaching our extension level around the 120. So that's a very hot trade to be looking at right now. And then, of course, you know, its counterpart, the opposite of Euro USD is USD Swiss franc. All right. Now, we actually gave out a trade. I gave out a trade last week in the free and premium group. So it was actually a trade given out to both groups for you guys. And we looked at this trend line break right here. And then also there's a lot of pressure on the dollar. So, you know, there's a nice sell-off on the dollar last week. Now, it didn't get to our take profit 2 level, but it did hit our take profit 1 level. We saw very, very nice bear flag forming right here. We just saw that the bottom of that flag break and it dropped very nice. Just classic, just very textbook price action on this pair. Now, of course, to the upside, now we are seeing a bull flag forming, but keep in mind that this is on the 1 hour, okay? The lower time frame, the structures that you see, the lower the time frame goes are not going to be as strong. So, for example, a bull flag or bear flag that you see on maybe the 4-hour or the daily is going to be a lot stronger than a bull or bear flag that you see on a 1 hour, a 30-minute, or even a 15-minute. I really don't use anything but the 4-hour in the daily chart. And I do look at the weekly chart definitely, and I do look at the 1-hour chart sometimes for confirmation when we're getting into a trade, such as, you know, this bear flag. But I like to start my analysis and kind of get my bearings of what type of trade I'm going to take based on the 4-hour and the daily candles. So we're at, same thing with Euro USD. We're at this very significant trend line, and we want to see what happens. You know, if it pops up above this trend line, then we're probably going to see it come back up into this range into here. If we see a rejection, then it's probably going to come down to our take profit 2 target in this area. So be watching to see what happens because we're at a very significant level. So it looks like we have a question in here. Show EU one more time. Sure, I'll go back to EU one more time for you guys. This is EU on the 4-hour. This is kind of what we're looking at right now. Kind of climbing up, got a bunch of wicks on it. So I'll leave this up for a second for you guys. Let's move on to pound dollar now. All right, pound dollar is at a very significant area. It's making a very big bear flag on the 4-hour. You know, we're kind of seeing something like what happened here, what happened here, and what happened here. We're seeing a lot of sideways consolidation. Potentially it can drop more. You know, I do think that there is definitely potential to the downside, but if we do see the dollar continue to weaken, then this pair could be pulling up. We can see that this green box is a very significant level, okay? So this is Brexit last year. Yeah, that's Brexit. This is the flash crash of last year, okay? And so to kind of give you guys an idea of where we are. So this goes back. This is multi-year support. This is a multi-year zone. So we want to definitely be careful. Don't expect it to just power through here. You know, expect definitely to see a presence of buyers, but I'm definitely on the sidelines with pound dollar right now because it's at this level. You know, I want to either see something like this, either a break above this level, you know, a pop up above this level and then moving up higher, or want to see it obviously break support and then maybe a retest before going lower. So there's always obviously 1 or 2 scenarios, but I don't have necessarily a one-sided bias for this pair, especially with, you know, the pound yen dropping. It's been moving, you know, the strong yen has also been putting a little bit of pressure on the pound. So that's why we've seen the pound sell off while we've seen, you know, pound dollar has obviously been going down while Euro USD has been going up for the most part, which if you guys have been trading for a couple of years, you definitely know that, you know, there was a time when Euro USD and pound dollar, you know, pretty much mirrored each other, moved very similarly. So, you know, the correlations change on a regular basis in the markets, and that's something you want to respect. Pound yen, I'm very, very, very happy with this trade. We aren't necessarily looking at trading this pair right now. I do think there is more downside potential, but it definitely hit our targets, and I'm not looking at being greedy. Last week, I posted this if you guys got a chance. So we very, very, very simple. We had this trend line that goes pretty far back, but a very clean, simple trend line on the daily. And this is this is how easy, not easy, guys. I don't like using the word easy in Forex. I like using the word simple because the charting and the analysis is simple, but what's hard to curb is your emotions, is your risk management, is your discipline when you jump into a trade. So it's very important that when you guys are looking, you don't have to do all these crazy markups. You guys can see on my charts, I don't have stochastics. I don't use RSI. I don't use Bollinger Bands. I don't use any indicators. Yes, I do have moving averages. I have 2 moving averages, but those are just something that are just kind of in the background that I just kind of look at. It's just kind of there, gives me an idea. But my bread and butter is using very high time frames with just traditional support and resistance and trend lines and being patient. You don't have to win every single trade. At the end, if I have a second, I may briefly discuss, how you can win 4 out of 10 trades and still be a profitable trader. But I'll go ahead and press play on this so you guys can see. Obviously we can looking, so from right at the bottom here, you guys can see it says from the major trend line, we can see a break and retest of this former support, and that's right here. Okay, we also saw, if you guys are familiar with candlestick formations, that is a tweezer's top right there. So, just another thing that says that that the sellers are in control. And then I said, look for a continuation of yen strength and downside on this pair. So obviously, if you guys know how to read the charts, yen strength means that this pair would be going down, and that's exactly what we saw. So we saw a very nice sell-off. A lot of pips were made. One of our we took this trade in the premium group, and it hit our take profit to target of I think it was like 135 pips, somewhere around there, but it did hit our target, which was this green zone. And I believe that was why we picked that green zone, was I believe that was our extension level. Let me just make sure. I think that was our 161.8 extension. Let me just double check. Yes, that's exactly what it was. So this is going to be another course also for the premium members that I'm going to be dropping, is one entire course is dedicated to how to use Fibonacci levels. And, we can actually see it went right down to our extension level, how to draw them, how to see if it's a valid fib level, or, if you're drawing it properly, whatnot. So that's going to be a whole very in-depth course, but there could be a little bit of a pullback on this pair. If we actually plot this out, I'm going to actually drop a trend line real quick right here. Or I'm sorry, not trend line, just horizontal support and resistance. And we may be popping up into this area before going down further. Obviously, so just to give you guys a brief breakdown, okay? So just make sure you guys are listening very, very closely to this. All right, because I'm only going to say this one time. Gold obviously goes up when there's a weak dollar, okay? So a weak dollar equals strong gold. You guys can write that down in your journals. Weak dollar equals strong gold. Okay. Now, correlation-wise, gold has a negative correlation to this pair right here, to the pound yen. Okay. Why? Because the yen is treated like a safe haven currency, just like gold is a safe haven commodity. All right. So gold is treated the same way the yen is treated. And so if we see strong gold, we're going to see a stronger yen. All right. So pound yen, if we see strength in the yen, that's downside on this pair. All right. If that was confusing, this is recorded, uploaded to YouTube. Definitely watch it. But that is a very strong correlation that I think every trader should know if you're trading these pairs. Okay. So what does that mean? That if we're and also, I'm going to say this last thing also, if you guys want to write this down, gold and Euro USD have a positive correlation. Okay. That's because if there's a weak dollar and a strong gold, if we're looking at the Euro USD chart, all right, a weak dollar is a strong Euro USD, because if you're buying Euro USD, you're buying euros and you're selling the dollar. Okay, so if we're expecting more upside on Euro USD, if it breaks out, if I'll go to it, if this consolidation breaks out to the upside and we do see Euro USD continue flying up, then we're going to see pound yen go down. Okay, and then the inverse is true also. If we see Euro USD go down, then we're going to see pound yen go up. All right, just like if we see Euro USD go down, we're going to see gold go down. Okay, and these are all general correlations. It's not going to be, they aren't going to follow each other 100% every single day of the month, every single day of the year. Okay, there's going to be days you'll see gold go up and Euro USD go down, and pound yen go up and gold go up, and it won't make any sense. But this is a general, this is probably on like a daily and a weekly time frame sort of scenario. All right, so I hope that helps you guys out. So hopefully that kind of makes sense of what we're looking at. Potentially more downside on pound yen, but we really want to see what happens with the dollar. Okay, I'm very, very strong in fundamentals, or I'm sorry, in correlations. Okay, I think that correlations are very important to understand, so you can kind of have, if you know what's happening with the dollar, you pretty much know what's going on in the entire market. It's great. All right. Oh, no problem, Lathan. No problem. Take care. Have a good day at work. All right. USD JPY. I think that, of course, if we see some more weakness in the dollar, that we are going to see this pair continue down further. There is a lot of pressure. We continue to make a series of lower lows and lower highs. Now, right here, we have been going a little bit sideways. So I'd like to see this level broken, the 108.80 level pretty much broken before looking at selling. But ideally, I'd like to see something like this. Maybe we'll get a bounce off of the trend line in this area, move down, bounce off of former support, and move down to our target of 107. And that would go in lieu with Euro USD going up, right? Euro USD going up is most of the time USD JPY going down. Because again, a weak dollar is Euro USD going up, and a weak dollar on USD JPY is going down, right? Because when you sell USD JPY, you're selling the dollar and you're buying the yen, okay? I want to show you guys this pair. This looks like a pretty solid buy. This is actually some analysis from the previous week. You guys can see we had, this is kind of what we formed out, and we actually got stopped out on this trade, but it's okay to get stopped out. It's okay to have losses, right? Losses are imminent in trading, but as long as our general, as long as you're getting better in your analysis, even with your analysis, it doesn't have to be correct 100% of the time, but you can see right here. So we actually took a trade in this in the premium group last week. It dropped really far into profit, but then very quickly spiked up. We got our stop loss got hit, and then it ended up going down to our target. But overall, the general idea of what was going to happen in the markets, we were correct on. So that happened. But I think this week with dollar weakness, we're going to see some potential buying pressure on this pair. So I wouldn't be surprised if we move up to this trend line. There's definitely some potential for about 100 pips or so to the upside to this trend line. Some of you guys might be wondering, what is this trend line? And I'm curious as well. So I'm going to move it back a little bit so we can see that. Okay. A couple times where it's actually already touched. So right here, right here, right here, right here. So 4 times in the past, and then we actually see it actually just barely nicked that zone a couple weeks ago. All right. And so I think we might be headed back up to that area. And NZD USD as well. Okay. If you guys don't know, AUD USD and NZD USD have a very strong correlation. I mean, if you guys know your geography, you look on a world map, New Zealand is the little island, it's an island, but it's the country that's right off of the coast of Australia. Okay, right off of the western coast of Australia, or eastern coast of Australia. All right, so they have a very strong correlation because their economies rely heavily on each other. All right. And so looking at this, very similar, but I don't want to be looking at buying this pair until we see a little pop up above this area. So ideally something like this, pop up, maybe retest that zone, and then continue moving further up. Now, this is all based on a weak dollar, right? Keep in mind that all of this analysis, guys, is based on a weak dollar. If for some reason out of the blue we do see some strengthening in the dollar, then most of these pairs are going to do the complete exact opposite of what we're talking about. So it all bases itself on what's happening with the dollar. Like I said, with Euro USD, we want to be very careful and see what happens in this channel. Is it going to respect this channel? Is it going to, continue playing in this channel? Are we going to see a lot more consolidation before it finally bursts in one direction? But whichever direction it goes, you can expect for the market to continue in that direction for a while. All right, so another solid trade. I do think I'll tell you guys right off the bat that my bias on USD CAD is bearish. I think that USD CAD, no matter really what happens to the dollar right now, because with the dollar, keep in mind that it doesn't move USD CAD as much as it does other pairs. Oil moves USD CAD a lot more than other pairs do because, you know, if you guys live in Canada or know about the Canadian economy, that they very rely on the oil economy and what happens with oil. So I just want to point this out on the weekly really quick. We have a very, very nice formation right here. We have a couple of formations in one. So first formation that we have obviously is this red candle that engulfs the previous blue candle. So we have a bearish engulfing candle. We also have a very, very big wick on last week's candle on the top side, showing a very strong presence of sellers. And so that overall gives us a bearish bias just from a technical standpoint, just at looking at one chart. So, you know, I go back to how I just said, you know, just analyzing charts is simple, right? It's using that risk management and that discipline. You know, just because this looks like a perfect trade doesn't mean you go and over leverage your account and risk 50% of your account on one trade. You still risk, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4%, 0.5%, whatever you're comfortable risking, but you don't over leverage your account and end up risking a ton of money just to try to get rich on one trade. That's not the way Forex works, guys. It's long-term compounding. So and then also just from a larger standpoint, this is more advanced stuff, guys. I don't expect you guys all to know this. This is also something that's going to be covered. But you know, when we talk about bear flags, we can see this original drop right here, and then a bunch of consolidation. This is, you know, technically a giant bear flag. It's a giant bear flag, and it's also an ascending channel that got broken. So if we take this measurement right here of this leg, it's not quite as long as this leg over here. There's still further downside before this leg is completed. Okay, so something to keep in mind with this pair. Yeah, so we'll keep it at that. Last two things that I want to go over. The first is I just want to show you guys something very quickly. Some of you guys are trying to get rich in 1 month or 1 week. And guys, truth is, you aren't even going to get rich in 1 year in Forex. You aren't even really going to get rich in 2 years in Forex. You need to do this for a while, okay? But if you do it for a while, your money starts to work for you and you compound. So I know some of you guys might have seen this already, but I just want to show you guys this. This is the Forex compounding calculator. I just want to show you guys how powerful it is to really just stick with it, be persistent, and not give up, you know, when you don't see the gains you might hope for. So if you take $1,000 and you grow 10% a month, by the way, our trade copier is at 10% this month already. I'm forecasting it to be at 20% before the end of the month. We did 10%, more than 10% the month before. So I have some very good, if you guys want to see that track record, that's in Telegram as well. It's connected to a MyFX book for you guys. But check this out, just for 5 years. Think about in the grand spectrum of your life, guys. You probably know somebody in your life right now, whether it's a family member, a friend, a relative, someone that's been working the same job for 5, 10, 15 years, and they've maybe over every year, maybe they get a 25% raise. Maybe they don't get any raise whatsoever. So, you know, some of you guys are trying to get rich in just a couple months, but I just want to show you guys how powerful it is just to take 5 years. 5 years, you know, most of you guys in here, I'm sure between the ages of 18 and 40 years old. You know, 5 years is not a lot of time in the grand spectrum of your life. So if you calculate this, boom, $1,000 at 10% a month. Okay, for just 5 years. Yes, guys, that is $304,000. This is the power of compounding your money over time. But look at it. Look at this. You know, some people would say, wow, that's really great. I would do that. But when you start to look at the numbers, can you really psychologically handle that, right? Like, look, in the first year, your account only goes from $1,000 to $2,800. So in an entire year, you only make $1,800. So that you have to change your mindset to be successful long-term in Forex. Look at this. If you did this for 10 years, guys, that is $92 million. Okay. Now, granted, okay, obviously, okay, let's be real about this. Obviously, every single month is not going to just be 10%. You know, you're going to have some losing months. You're going to have some months you maybe break even, but then you're also going to have some good months. Maybe you make 20, 30%. So averages out to about 10% a month if if you're doing the right thing. And that's $92 million, $709,068.82 over 10 years. Okay. From $1,000. It's absolutely insane. Even if you did 10% of that, I think every single person in here would agree with me that $1,000 in 10 years into $9 million is still worth it. You know, even if it was 1%, you made $900,000 in 10 years from $1,000 investment. You cannot get that from any bank account. There's no way you can get that from a savings account. There's nothing like that. Okay, so this is why Forex is so lucrative and so powerful. It's very, very important that you guys understand that, okay? And the last thing that I just want to go over is just this really quick, okay? Is how you can be a 40% win rate trader. Okay, in the premium group, if you guys look at our MyFX book, we have about a 70 to 75%, actually a little bit more than that. We have like about a 79% win rate right now, according to our track record. But I would say, you know, on average, it's about a 70% win rate. So we're winning about 7 out of 10 trades in the premium group. But so just so you guys can have an idea, so even if you're trading on your own and you might not think you're the best trader and you're wondering how you're going to do this, just to show you guys this, check this out. Okay, so if you take 10 trades, okay, 10 trades, all right, 10 trades. Let's say 4 of them win, 4 win. Okay, now let's say on those 4 trades, you risk 2%. Okay, and you aim, so you're risking 2% to make 4%. So you risk 2% of your account and your target is 4% of your account. Okay, so that means, so if you win those 4, that means they hit your target of 4%. So you make 16% on those 4 wins. Okay, now if you have 6 losses, all right, and you lose 2% on each of those 6 trades, that's 12%. Okay, simple math, guys. Okay, very simple math. What does that come out to? It still comes out to a 4% gain on 10 trades. You take 20 trades a month, obviously you just multiply this by 2. You have 8% gain on your account already. Okay, some of you guys are just, you know, it blows my mind. Some people are very short-sighted in this. This is real investing, guys. You know, if you can't handle it, don't be in Forex. So this is to show you guys the power of it. Let's just take this number one step further. Let's take the premium group really quick. All right, so you have 7 trades that win. Okay, 7 trades that win at a 4% gain. That's a 28% increase. Okay, 3 that lose with a 2% loss. That's a 6% loss. Okay, that is a 22% gain on 10 trades. Okay, so hopefully this opened up some of you guys' eyes. Hopefully, you know, I hope at least one of you guys are mind blown by this and it makes a lot of sense to you guys. Let me go back to the screen real quick. I hope that you guys got some value out of this webinar. If you guys did, if you guys are watching this on YouTube and you're watching the YouTube replay, you know, definitely subscribe so you can watch all of our webinars, go through the other ones, like this video, leave a comment if it helped you out. Everybody watching live right now, thank you guys so much for your time. I really appreciate all of you guys. If you have any questions, go ahead and hit me up in Telegram. Remember, today is the last day. Just another reminder that today is the last day to join the lifetime membership at the discounted for the discounted price. I will have this up on YouTube within the next 15 minutes for you guys, and I will drop the link in Telegram for you guys. Share this with your friends, share this with any trading people you guys know. I think that there was a lot of value in this webinar today, and I look forward to seeing you guys next Sunday. And if you guys are in the premium group, remember we have our daily webinar on Monday through Thursday. So we have our daily webinar tomorrow for all you premium members. So I really appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful week and take care trading. See you guys.